Friends, if you don't have the opportunity to read Johann Goethe's Faust, watch this video. Because the tragedy is in two parts, I made two videos for each part. Now you will hear the retelling of the second part. So, Faust was lying in a blooming meadow. It was evening. He felt bad, he couldn't sleep. There were spirits flying around, that's what put him to sleep. Faust woke up full of energy and vitality. Mephistopheles carried Faust to the imperial palace. The emperor saw that his jester was missing somewhere. He was told that the jester was dead. But there is a new jester for you, and the emperor was introduced to Mephistopheles as the new jester. Meanwhile, the chancellor reported to the emperor that everything was very sad in the state. Corruption, lawlessness and vices all around. He was echoed by the military commander. He said that in addition to all this, the mercenary army owed a huge debt, and if it revolts, things will be very bad. The treasurer added, "Your Majesty, there is no money in the treasury, but you hang on. It's every man for himself. That's how we live. People don't pay taxes. They are getting rich, and the treasury is empty." The keeper of the palace said that all the food in the palace has long been bought on credit. "Well, that's too bad," said the emperor. "And you, jester, what do you think about all this? We can find gold, in the mountains, in the ground. Well, we will find it, we must dig." Everyone liked the ideas of the jester, except the chancellor, who saw something diabolical in all this. Some time passed. Faust and Mephistopheles came to see the emperor. The keeper of the palace joyfully reported that all the bills had been paid. The head of the military forces came running and said that the mercenaries had been paid. The treasurer also rejoiced. And even the chancellor had to admit that everything had become cool. And the thing is that now there were coupons in the empire, for which people paid real money. And so these coupons testified that their owner would have the gold extracted from the bowels of the earth when this gold was extracted. And what? People take these bills of exchange for real value. The emperor could not believe such a thing. "Yes, all the coupons have been bought," they answered him. Faust told Mephistopheles that he had promised the emperor to invite Paris and Helen to another ball. Friends, Paris and Helen are the couple from ancient Greece that started the Trojan War. Clearly, they died a long time ago. "Are you a moron?" says Mephistopheles. "How am I going to get them for you? They are dead." "Well, think of something." "All right. Here is a special key. It will help you in the nether world. Go and find your Paris and Helen. And there is a ball in the emperor's palace. Everyone is waiting for Faustus to appear with the spirits. Paris and Helen appear. All the women, seeing the young man, at once admired his beauty. But Helen, on the other hand, began to be judged, out of jealousy. The men could not take their eyes off Helen. Faust wanted her and went to her. Then Helen and Paris vanished into thin air and disappeared. Some time passed. Mephistopheles took Faust to his room, where the doctor had worked in his former life before he met the devil. While Faust was sleeping, a student came into the room. He said that his teacher Dr. Wagner was very much looking forward to the return of his teacher Faustus, and was now working on some experiment. So Mephistopheles went to see Wagner in his laboratory. "What are you doing?" he asked. "Well, I am making a man." And suddenly, right in front of Wagner's eyes, a little man began to emerge from the flask. It was homunculus. He immediately spoke. He called Wagner his daddy, and then said he was going with Mephistopheles to travel the world. Wagner was saddened. He wanted to spend more time with the result of his experiment. Faustus became sad. He looked everywhere for Helen, whom he was literally obsessed with. Even the centaur Chiron helped him. "By the way, I saw Helen," he said suddenly. Faust brightened up. "Where?" "She was sitting on my back, like you are now." Well, the scarecrow was overjoyed that he was now sitting where Helen had once sat. Meanwhile, Mephistopheles, traveling, met homunculus. So, they talked about nothing and parted again. In general, homunculus wanted to be finally born, to become a full-fledged man. So he went around asking everyone who could help him do that. People told him to eat more, then he would grow. The events of the deep past are further described. The time of Sparta and ancient Greece. His wife, the beautiful Helen, arrived at the palace of King Menelaus. She was resentful of her husband, who she thought had treated her badly on the ship's journey. In addition, Helen had been told that Menelaus was going to kill her, so she asked for help. And she got help. She was transported in time to the Middle Ages, to a castle. And it was there that Faustus approached Helen. He was dressed as a knight. He said that all men go crazy when they see Helen, including him. "Be the mistress of my castle," Faust said to Helen. And what was she to do? In her position she was willing to do anything. Several years passed. Faustus and Helen had a son, Euphorian. He grew up, and, like many young men, he began to think about fighting, so much so that he thought that only death could make him a real fighter of earthly affairs. He jumped off a cliff and fell right at his parents' feet, and then suddenly his body disappeared. In the end, having done nothing useful in life, the guy stupidly died. There is a legend that beauty and happiness do not coexist. "That's about me," Helen said, and, like her son, disappeared, too. Her clothes turned into clouds, lifted Faust behind her, and flew with him far, far away. A cloud landed Faust on a rock. And very soon Mephistopheles appeared there. "What shall we do?" Faustus asked. "Do you remember our emperor, whom we helped with the money? He is not doing very well at the moment. Our scam with the coupons was quickly exposed. There was a real uproar in the country. Some of the people have risen up. There is a civil war brewing. So the emperor is facing one last decisive battle. And what is in it for us?" Faustus asked. "So let's go and help him, and he will thank you later. We will win. I will do anything." So Faust appeared before the emperor and helped him win. The local archbishop told the emperor that he was saddened by the fact that the emperor had become involved with Satan and was being held in power only thanks to him. "Repent and share a little with the church. Then you will be forgiven. The more generous you are, the more forgiven you will be." "What do you want from me?" the emperor asked. "Build a temple, give me money, land. In general, the more the better." "I see." Several years passed. Faust grew old. On a hill on the seashore lived old men, husband and wife. One day a wanderer, whom they had known before, came to visit them. Some time ago the waves had thrown the half-living wanderer ashore, and the old men helped him then. They sat down at the table and talked. The old man told that a dude, Faust, had started building a canal here, and had already moved a lot of people out of the area. Now he wants our house, but we don't want to go anywhere. Faust was annoyed that the old man would not agree to his terms. And, as always, when he could not cope with the problem himself, he asked Mephistopheles for help. "Friend, do something. I am sick and tired of these old people. They got a really cool place there. I like it." What happened next? Mephistopheles' men came to the old people's house and started taking their things out. And they killed the wanderer. The old people died when they saw it. Then the house was burned down. "What have you done?" Faustus asked. "I wanted you to deal with them in a good way, but you killed them all." Some more time passed. Faust grew old again. He lost his sight, but he still continued to supervise the construction of some dam. He heard the clatter of shovels, but the trick was that it was Mephistopheles who ordered his servants to dig a grave for Faust. And soon Faust died. Mephistopheles was there. He had an agreement with Faust. After all, he wanted Faust's soul. But it was not to be. Angels flew in and took Faust's soul right out from under Mephistopheles' nose. "What are you doing? His soul is mine. I have been waiting for it for years. I even have a contract." "A contract, you say? We don't know anything. It's up to God. Deal with him." That's how God ditched Mephistopheles, like the most common sucker. And in heaven, Gretchen was waiting for Faust? That's all, friends.